I'm going to go ahead and invite Dana and Abby to come and join us.
Hello, you
Hello,
guys.
ladies.
Hello. Hi. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. We're glad you're here. We're going to go ahead and disappear and let you do your thing.
All right.
Oh, it looks like you have a pelvis. You're all set.
We do,
We
yes.
do. Always.
We bring it everywhere.
Sounds like a party.
Okay, so we're Abby and Dana. We're physical therapists at West Portland Physical Therapy Clinic. It's located at 17th and Southwest Morrison Street, so right next to Providence Park. And yeah, so we're two of our team of pelvic floor physical therapists. We're all orthopedically trained as well, but we've taken some specialized continuing education courses in order to be able to treat the pelvic floor. So there's 6 of us actually that work there. It's a little bit different right now because of the coronavirus stuff, but yeah, so we're here to kind of talk about, pelvic floor physical therapy across the prenatal and postpartum timeline for parents.
So first off, we decided that we'd kind of go over the pelvic floor a little bit just because we have our awesome model that we carry with us everywhere, and we show this to all patients, all of the community outreach that we do. So with prenatal and postpartum care, our specialty is the pelvic floor muscles and how that relates to the rest of the body. So all of the red here, there's pelvic floor muscles. So there's quite a lot. It sits at the bottom of the pelvis from the pubic bone all the way back to the coccyx or the tailbone and the sacrum, and then side to side between the 2 ischial tuberosities or sit bones if you've gone to yoga class before. These muscles have a lot of different functions, and so we just figured we'd just go over what exactly those are. So one of the primary functions is being able to support the pelvic organs, as you can see resting down in here. So being able to support the bladder, the uterus, and the rectum, and also providing stability. So your pelvic floor works with the other muscles through the trunk to be your deep core muscles that give us the ability to stay strong and move in space to do hard things like bending, lifting, pushing, pulling, using our arms, using our legs, physical activity, carrying a baby with your center of gravity shifting, and all of those things. They also have a sphincteric function. So we see a lot of women that have urinary and bowel issues because they don't have as good control of those sphincters. And then we also see that there's a sump pump action, so being able to pump lymphatic fluid and get swelling and edema out of the body, bringing it back to the heart. And the last function is the sexual function because the muscles directly attach to the clitoris. So we have the ability to gain strength of these muscles to increase pleasurable sensation. A lot of the diagnoses that we treat, we see some carryover between prenatal and postpartum, but we figured we'd just kind of cover the whole gambit that we normally see. So pubic symphysis dysfunction is something that we see often in pregnant women, as well as round ligament pain, any type of sacroiliac joint pain through these, lower back pain, hip pain, and then any type of tailbone pain. We also treat upper neck and upper back pain, a lot of that kind of postural positioning that tends to happen with carrying heavy weight, breastfeeding, things like that, making sure that we can help with all of those things. Sciatica, any type of pelvic pain, soreness, pressure, prolapse, and of course any urinary or bowel issues. So any increase in urinary frequency or urgency, urinary leakage, either getting to the toilet or with something like cough, sneeze, laughing, bowel issues such as constipation or diarrhea, and then also any type of fecal incontinence, and then any type of pelvic pain, so any pain with pelvic exams, and as well as painful sex during and after pregnancy.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to kind of talk a little bit more in detail about what we do more prenatally, while Dana will talk a little bit more about kind of postpartum care. So yeah, prenatally, we can see any woman at any part of her pregnancy. A lot of times people come in for, yes, some pelvic floor issues, but pretty much any orthopedic issue that can happen throughout the body. Like Dana said, one of the primary functions of this whole area is to be as stable as possible. It kind of connects our upper body to our lower body, and as throughout the pregnancy, there are a lot of hormonal changes that happen throughout the body that kind of make our joints a little bit hypermobile, which can kind of lose some of the stability in this area. And as well as, there's an increased load to the muscles and the joints as women go along through their pregnancy, and loads change, and kind of things happen in this area to kind of cause pain in different parts. So a lot of what we do is we kind of have a thorough first history we take with our patients. We teach them all about the anatomy, or kind of what's going on specific to them. And then a lot of education happens where we talk to them about how to use their pelvic floor muscles specifically in different situations to kind of help with all that increased load, and to help support the whole area, the organs inside, and then kind of the joints around it. We also give a lot of education when it comes, later for labor and delivery, how to use their muscles to kind of help with all of that, making sure they're able to, yes, contract and have strong muscles to support the internal areas, but also be able to relax their muscles and be able to bear down so that they can help when it comes time to push the baby out. Other things that we do is, different strategies and positioning that will help with labor and delivery, to kind of promote those things and promote the pushing. And then as well as while, we're seeing them prenatally, we can give them some education for, postpartum while their minds are a little bit more clear and they're not as tired. We can talk to them about body mechanics for how to kind of bend over, lifting, carrying, breastfeeding, because it's a lot of new activities that moms have to do afterwards. After giving birth, and using the correct stability muscles that will support their whole body, making sure they won't injure themselves in any other ways after is super important.
All right. And then for postpartum care, we normally, if we work with someone prenatally, we encourage them to come back 6 or so weeks after their birth, normally when they're cleared by whatever medical professional they're seeing for that. And if not, then they can still come on their own without a referral from someone. And at that point, we do another history take. So we see if we haven't seen them before, what issues were you having prenatally? How did birth, labor, and delivery go? And then any questions or concerns that you have now, what do you want to get back to doing that you aren't able to currently do? And primarily help troubleshoot any pain or discomfort, things like that they're dealing with at the current time. So we will do a pelvic floor muscle assessment, either the first or second visit, to see, are the muscles too tense? In that case, we don't want to initiate a lot of strengthening, because that can make pain and any incontinence or any bowel issues worse. And then if someone is ready, has the good proper muscle tone, going through and teaching people how to properly do a Kegel. A lot of people think that they should just immediately do them right away, but we really want to make sure that the muscles have all of their functions. So they need to be strong. Pelvic floor has a large quantity of its load is for posture, so it needs to have a lot of endurance. And then for those moms that want to go back to physical activity, making sure that the muscles are quick, that they're able to tolerate the heavy impacts like running. We see a lot of people right now that are getting more into that activity, and making sure that the hips, the ankles, knees, back, everything, core is strong. So we always check for people for a diastasis postpartum to make sure, even if they don't have an actual separation, how well do those core muscles coordinate? Do they get any doming or tenting through the muscles? If they're having any leakage, teaching them how to manage all of that. And then if any changes postpartum, something else that we'll do quite a bit is some C-section scar assessment, as well as any perineal tearing, episiotomy scar work as well. A lot of women will report pain in those areas, particularly with intercourse. And that's definitely something really important to people's quality of life, particularly if you want to have another child down the road. So making sure that we can educate people and teach them how to mobilize that tissue. And for C-section scars, that can be contributing to lower abdominal pain, pelvic pain, muscles not being able to fire the right way. And then, of course, a lot of strengthening exercises and teaching the muscles how to do the right job. Sometimes we find that those muscles just get a little bit dormant because they've been overstretched or overworked for so long. So just helping people achieve that postural balance, reassessing posture, and kind of teaching proper positioning with all of those harder demands that you'll be having. A lot more bending and lifting. We joke that everyone's a professional weightlifter now that they're a mom. So giving them a lot of cues for how they can modify what they're doing day to day, so they have more energy and reserve to do all of the childcare tasks and any extracurricular activities that they want to do. And then kind of work with people as frequently as needed. So on that first visit, we'll kind of assess, should someone come in twice a week initially, once a week? Should there just be intermittent visits, or is it like on an as needed basis? We work with people one-on-one. We have 1 hour long sessions. We are still open currently, just with a significantly limited number of staff. So Abby and I are both working in the clinic. Normally we encourage women to bring their babies with them if they need to bring child with them, so if they don't have childcare, and then that gives us the opportunity to see how you are interacting together.
It's a great way to go over like good body mechanics and stuff if the baby is with us. So,
and if not, we can put weights in a backpack. We've done that plenty of times as well.
Also, we do see women who have gone through C-sections as well. A lot of times people think, you know, I don't have pelvic floor issues if I haven't like pushed the baby out, but a lot of times, you know, your pelvic floor has been affected by the whole entire pregnancy itself. So a lot of women who have had C-sections do end up with different pelvic floor dysfunctions. And then also to mention that we do a lot of scar mobilization work around C-section scars, which really helps to keep it mobile and make sure there's no, you know, developed scar tissue underneath that can adhere or cause pain or different abnormal sensations. So yeah, like Dana said, we're working a limited staff right now. The two of us are working, and one of our other pelvic floor physical therapists is working as well right now. So we can also offer telehealth appointments that can, you know, be good for, you know, though we can't, you know, do any manual stuff, we can do a lot of educational stuff and then exercise as well via telehealth. So that's definitely an option. And we do take most insurances, including Care Oregon. So that's another thing to mention. But yeah, I think that's about it.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for having us.
You can see our information through our website or Instagram, and feel free to give us a call if you have any questions. If you think pelvic PT might be appropriate for you, we're more than happy to chat with people one-on-one before they decide to come in. So our number is provided as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for talking to us today, guys.
Thanks for having us.
It's been great to meet you.
Bye. Be
Bye.
safe.
Bye.
So let's see, I'll put up their info. Yeah.
My gosh, there is so much to think about.
It's a complicated thing. I mean, this whole process, it's not just like get pregnant, have a baby, move on.
Yeah.
There's so many options, and it's great because it's so complicated that we need all of these different providers with all these different skill sets.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it only behooves people to know what's available to them. And if after your baby comes, you're not experiencing any pelvic dysfunction, then that's awesome. But you should know that it's available to you in case something does happen, and so that you don't feel like you're weird or crazy or broken, because you're not.